Let's take a look. What are semicolons? Today we're going to be learning about what are semicolons. So I feel like we see a lot about semicolons when we're reading, when we're talking about grammar, but we don't always have the firmest grasp on what these semicolons are. So let's see. Semicolons are used to join two independent clauses. We know that independent clauses have a subject, a predicate, and a complete thought. And we see that here in our example sentences. So, Sarah loved to go to the park. She always begged her mother to take her. Here we have two independent clauses. So we have subject, predicate. This is a complete thought. Subject, predicate. This is a complete thought. And when we put a period here, this is perfectly grammatically correct. This works totally fine. But if we want to have a slightly smoother transition, we can insert a semicolon in the place of a period, make the S lowercase here, and we will still have a grammatically correct sentence. So Sarah loved to go to the park. She always begged her mother to take her. So that one flows a little more smoothly. The reason we couldn't put a comma here instead is because these are two complete thoughts. We use commas to set apart additional information. When we put a comma between two independent clauses, then we have a comma splice. We're not setting apart additional information. We're just breaking up two sentences. Comma's not strong enough to do that like a semicolon is. And we can see that down here. Semicolons can be used in the place of a coordinating conjunction. So here we have the same exact independent clauses as we had above. But in this case, we're using a comma because we've also added the coordinating conjunction so. So coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or. When we insert so here, we can see that this is now a dependent clause. This is now additional information. The sentence cannot stand on its own. It needs this part to make it make sense. So that is why all these three things we have here are interchangeable. So if you ever are confused, can I put a semicolon in this sentence? Try it with a coordinating conjunction. And if it still makes sense, then odds are you're probably on the right track. So let's do a little practice right here before we get to our worksheets. How can we use a semicolon to combine these two sentences? So Mary went to the store on Black Friday. It was packed. So again, we have subject, predicate, subject, predicate. So these are both complete thoughts as well. So like we were talking about, that means we would just put a semicolon right here. Let's try it with our little trick that we talked about. So we're not sure, do we need a semicolon here? I don't know. Let's try it with a coordinating conjunction. Let's get rid of this period. Let's insert a comma in the coordinating conjunction, but. So we have Mary went to the store on Black Friday, but it was packed. That still makes sense. So because we know that those things we were talking about earlier, the comma, the period, all of these are interchangeable, we are free to put a semicolon here. Let's check our answer. Mary went to the store on Black Friday. It was packed. And that is how you do it. So now let's take a look at our worksheets. And it is your turn to give this a shot. Let's see what we've learned.